Hey guys, what is up? I just wanted to make a really quick signal flow video for you guys. I know this stuff is like super boring at this point, but you know and I mean it's been pretty boring up until this point, just period. You know, just like going through EQ, going through the Logic Pro intro. Yeah, where's that play button? Where's that play button right? There's a play button right there. I wonder what. Anyway, so but signal flow is like super important to understanding exactly how the audio is being fed through Logic, and this really comes down to how audio is done in the real world in like a professional studio setting. You know, if you have a bunch of outboard gear, that kind of stuff, then it's the same thing, honestly. All audio is just audio. How the signal flow is operating in like analog gear is going to be the same how it happens in the box. And this is so important to understand because you're not going to get great sounding mixes without having at least a basic understanding of this. And you know what? I'll say it right here. My understanding of it is pretty basic. So if you know more about it and want to say something in the comments, please do. Please teach me. You know, I'm doing this to open up a conversation. So let's just get started. Let's go to our guitars right here. We have our little guitars. These little guitars right there. No distorted guitars. So basically, the way you want to think of this, now these are DI, direct input guitars. I plugged my guitar directly into my audio interface and recorded right from there. You want to treat this as if it is outboard gear, as if this is an analog setup. So what's the first thing that your guitar is plugged into? Your pedal board. And after that, I mean, here I decided to bypass my pedals, so what is the next thing your guitar is plugged into? Your amp. So in this case, I have an amp simulator. After my amp simulator here, I have these two gain plugins on each one. Now that's a very important plugin. At the beginning stage of most mixes, not even most, every mix, for me, every mix, there's this part of the process called gain staging. This means that all of your tracks are peaking at an optimal level. And this I learned from Graham over at the Recording Revolution because he is just awesome. And I wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff without people like him, people like Dave Pensato. Go check out their stuff. They're awesome. They'll teach you a whole lot more than I can. Gain staging is a really important part of the process, and you want to make sure that your audio is at the optimal place for processing. And believe it or not, there is an actual optimal point for this, and it tends to be around negative 18 dBFS, dB full scale, versus right over here I have a VU meter, and negative 18 right here on VU is 0. So if you see in a Pro Studio a VU meter, a meter just like this, around, you will be able to know when it's hitting 0 and you're, in the box and you're thinking, holy crap, why is it at 0? Oh my god, it's peaking at 0. Why isn't it clipping? What's going on? That's because it's at dBVU, not dBFS. And the dB that we see here is dBFS, full scale, not VU. In fact, 0 VU is negative 18 FS, which is way down there. And that's why gain staging exists. After we're at that peak volume, you can see I'm peaking here, negative 15, negative 17 at whatever point it is. But you want to aim for that. It doesn't have to be exact, but around that area is really what you're going for to get the optimal sound out of your plugins. Okay, so next we have an EQ, and then a compressor, and then this Haas plugin. The point is, literally, as you go down, it starts right over here with your input. So you have your input. This is the literal flow of the signal. This is the chain of audio in the order that it goes. So first we're going through the amp before the Haas. Okay? And this is important to understand because you might want to compress before you EQ for some reason if that's the way you like to do things. I personally like to do it the opposite way. However, there are other reasons to do it, like in a mix in top-down mixing, you would technically be compressing the entire mix before EQing any of the tracks, the actual audio tracks, which is just another approach. I haven't tried it yet. I'm really interested in trying it because it supposedly gets you much closer to your final mix much faster with a lot less processing, and that's always awesome because my entire goal is to do as little processing as possible. You'll see here on my instrument buses, there's just 2, 3, like I try and be very sparse about it. So let's talk about one more thing, and this will also help to really exemplify signal flow as a concept. Let's talk about busing. Now, busing is basically when you send an audio signal to another track, a kind of sub-track, or a bus, and you do something with it to achieve a desired effect, and then you dial it back in. So, for example, my drum track here is going to bus 2, which I've named drum verb, which is my drum reverb bus. So if we go over to bus 2, right here, drum verb. So I have a reverb going through my drums. But that signal is being, at this point, it's before the fader. Before I do anything to the fader over here, that signal is being put in to that bus. Now, none of this stuff is happening over there. It's just a pure signal going into this bus, which has a reverb on it. That exemplifies signal flow, because you have to know that the signal is going pushed through here, and at how much right over here tells you the scale at which the audio signal is being put in, so that, say, if you put it all the way up to 0, you're getting the full signal is getting put in there. Here, I took it down a ton so that it would be a smaller signal, because I wanted a much more subtle effect. And I did the same thing here for Vox reverb and then guitar delay. This is the basic idea of why these are in the order that they're in, and why you'd want to change that order depending on your own idea and your own sound preference. Yeah, that's basically signal flow. So you can get a whole lot more into it, but we're running out of time. I want to keep this one short. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a comment or question or whatever. If you know more than I do, please teach me. I want to know as much as possible. Part of me making this video is so that those people who are out there and want to engage will teach me something too. It's part of just putting yourself out there, and I think it's a great way to learn and for everybody to learn, because when we all learn more, we're all just a little bit better, and that means the world is just a little bit of a better place. Hey guys, I'm playing a game this month to get up to 200 subscribers. Will you help me win? Huh? Also, if you want to hear the song that I had up in the video here, just click on the link in the description and sign up for my mailing list and you get a free download. Boosh.